Well, hi, I'm Jack Landis, and we're back with Rich Pomerantz from 10X Ammunition, and we're going to finish up with some of the things that we discussed in our previous two interviews. Rich, while we were out in the shop, I noticed on the bullet making machine there that you're making all these bullets. Have you ever considered selling them as a component rather than just loading them yourself?
Jack, we have. In fact, for the Martini Henry and the Snyder, we already are offering those bullets as our coated bullets for sale.
Really?
We have been asked to do the same for the 41 Long Colt and then also for the 45 Colt 165 bullets. People really like those light bullets, and we're just a matter of keeping up with the demand. There's been so much demand that to have extra and actually be able to sell it has not been possible yet, but we're probably going to be getting there real soon.
You need to put on an extra shift, have these people do something at night while we're, have an empty plant here.
We're thinking about that. I have to get another riding crop so I can keep them going.
Of course. I was also wondering, when we talked before about the reloading that you do, and it's a significant part of your business. Are there any particular problems that surface either with loading particular cartridges for the particular firearms that are made, or any challenges that you've run into in this area in the past?
A lot of the challenges that we usually find are problems with the brass itself, either old brass or someone had used the brass for something else or trimmed it incorrectly, and that brass will come in and it's through the inspection we'll usually pick that up. Sometimes we also can find that there are problems with people's guns that they were not aware of. We'll see those telltale markings on the brass, and we'll bring that to the attention of the customer right away so they can get those guns looked at.
Have there been any guns that you've developed ammunition for that have come out where you had a problem initially with these guns, that somebody oopsed and they created it either a wrong twist rate or a wrong throat rate for the particular bullet or something of this nature? Or...
Absolutely, and unfortunately that does happen. When we do find it, we try to work with the manufacturer as quickly as possible. We found that recently with two different manufacturers on the same gun, actually, a 45-90. And they did not, even though their drawings call for a 45-degree angle cut, they're actually at 90. And so it's stripping lead, and after about 2 shots, it's not even shootable. So we've been able to work with those companies, and they've contacted their customers. But we found that out as soon as people started shooting and having problems.
Well, I know in the old days, we talked about this before, that sometimes the bore diameters would change as the tooling got worn. With the modern manufacturers and modern equipment, is this a problem now where the bore diameters are changed or are not what you started out with when you designed the bullet? Well,
we're not usually seeing the bore changes. What we are seeing sometimes has been incorrect bores. For example, there have been some what would traditionally be a 45-70 barrel that might be a 458 diameter.
That's big.
Right, and they should be 457, maybe 457.5, but we've had some problems where customers will tell us about very large groupings. We'll ask them to slug the bore, and sure enough, we find out that it was just cut oversized.
Wow. Are there any new projects that you have in the wind, things that are coming up that you can talk to us about? Don't be giving us away any trade secrets, but it'll just be between you and I. We won't tell anybody else.
We won't tell the viewing audience. We're always working on new projects. The wax cartridges that we've been working on to enable indoor shooting, the ability to shoot without powder but with the wax instead, that's been growing. It's actually growing worldwide. Which also has been helpful to continue the growth of SAS cowboy action shooting as well. And another project that we actually are looking at is some new polymer bullets.
Really?
Something that will, for all intents and purposes, look like and act like lead, but not have the toxic component.
And you could probably also shoot those inside? Or do you have a bounce back factor with those that you don't get with the wax?
We're working on that.
You take a look at that.
We're absolutely, part of the whole R&D process is find as many faults as you can, and hopefully you get left with all the good stuff.
Well, I remember back in the old days when I was taking 38 special cases, even before I went to the garden spot in the Orient there, where we would take and put paraffin wax in them and shoot them in revolvers. But how do you get them to cycle through a rifle? Because normally a .357 or .45 rifle is not like a good 1911. It won't cycle empty cases.
Exactly. Well, and the key is this. First, it's an overall length issue. You've got to make sure that the brass is going to replicate a loaded round.
Correct.
Which means that you have to neck that case down. The key is not just necking it down, but what the angles are, because you're trying to enable it to run through what could be 5, 6 different types of guns, all the same caliber, but working with different mechanisms. So the angles are very, very important on the neck. And the other part is getting the ratio correct. As we found out with 45 Colt, which we use 5-in-1 blank brass to start, we found that taking it down to a 30 caliber bullet actually worked best. For the 38 357 cartridge, we were able to go down to a 25 caliber bullet, and be able to also then cycle through the variety of rifles that are out there. So it's important. It's key. It's just a matter of, again, it's part of that R&D, spending the time finding the problems to work those out and be left with everything that's good.
But that is the fun part, isn't it?
That is the fun part. I love testing. You know, gosh, I hate it when people say I have to go out and test today.
Oh, don't make me do that.
Yeah, that's the toughest days. I hate those. Yeah.
I'm sorry, honey. I'm going to have to go out and test today.
Exactly. So the only other project they're working on right now is we've been asked to develop a black powder turkey cartridge.
Really?
It's a 12 gauge 2 3/4 shot with a 1 1/4 ounce, and we are using a Hodgdon powder to do it, black powder 777. We're just trying to achieve about 1,250 feet per second out of a 2 3/4 inch case, which we've done, and now we're just getting that finalized. That may actually be something we'll release at the SHOT Show.
What would be the purpose of this?
Well, there's quite a few turkey hunters out there that have been looking for something new. There's over 500,000 turkey hunters in the United States.
Something new that's something old at the
Something
same
new
time.
that's something old, exactly. Take it back to what it was. It's not muzzle loading. Gives them the ability to use their current shotguns, but give them that feel with the smoke and the flavor of shooting a black powder charge.
Would this then be safe in some of these, some of the old Crescent shotguns, some of these with the Damascus barrels? Would they be safe with that?
No, we're not going to be recommending these for use in anything other than modern steel barrels. We're talking about pressures that are a lot stronger than what we're originally designed for, so there'll be warning labels on it.
I'm sure your attorney just had cold chills and wondered what caused it.
Yeah, this is definitely a modern cartridge with the old feel to it.
Oh, great. Richard, thank you very much, and really appreciate you taking your time again to see us, and hope it all goes very well for you. I'm really impressed with what you've done here.
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it, and you are always welcome back.
Thank you very much.